Yeah. Positive. Yeah, it's positive energy. Positive. Yeah, it's positive energy. Yeah. Positive. Yeah, it's positive energy.
Yo, it's positive vibes equals positive energy. Prior to coming in the video, y'all, I need you guys to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you like biblical content, you know, if you've been baptized, if you're following Christ, if you're following Jesus Christ, we are to be learning of the gospel. We are to be learning of God in this book that these prophets have put their hands to write. This is something that you must put into your everyday life. You must find out ways in order to seek this gospel. And today in this video, the title of this video, I'm tripping. It's Dezignerjay, Dezignerjaycollections.com. This is where we study the book. And I like to give little gems that I'm learning. And like I was just saying, the title of this video, man, is okay. Title of this video is God's command, right? God's command against serving other gods. A lesson from Pharaoh. I'm gonna say that again. The title of this video, bro, is God's commands against God's command against serving other gods. A lesson from Pharaoh. Okay, now look. I don't know everything, right? I don't know the inspiration that came out of this blog is because I firmly believe that where I'm at or whatever, right? People are serving other gods, right? Whether it be the devil, whether it be you know the Pharaoh, because I'm aware of even in the book it states how people go over to Egypt and they get strengthened in Pharaoh. And I didn't even know that, Pharaoh was of the same type of thing, right? Um, I came across a few people who actually had the Pharaoh thing tattooed on them. And I also came across some people who are actually worshiping the Egyptian thing in their homes. And it's really disappointing to me because some of these people that I know are my family members, and some of these people that I know are my friends. And before, I didn't understand it. I seen the Pharaoh thing. I'm just like, okay, well, that's cool. It's from Africa, right? But you have to do your due diligence. Like I said in my last video of dreadlocks that's in the Bible, you have to seek out things. You have to. Nobody else. You. And I noticed that well, when I seen it, I'm like, I still really didn't think nothing of it, honestly. Like, I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I wasn't making a big deal of it because I really didn't know anything about it. You get what I'm saying? I didn't know anything about no Pharaoh thing or anything like that. So when I seen it with my friends and the family members or whatever, I just brushed it off, not really understanding because I wasn't really anything like that if you wasn't talking about Jesus. Like I was steady on the surface level of things. I wasn't deep into them. I didn't really search for anything more of it. You know what I mean? So I didn't understand that. I just didn't understand a lot of things. That's all I'm gonna say about that, right? But let's get into this blog that I created on my website, designerjay.com. I'm gonna leave a link in the description and a link to my clothing brand as well. Before I start the lesson, I like to give like a little speech or something that kind of introduces you into the topics and why I created it and the inspiration that came behind it. So yeah, and then on top of that, I noticed that where I'm at, a lot of people are doing a lot of different things, and it's affecting me. And this is actually what I came across today, and I thought it would be dope to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's actually in time. It's what I'm going through, and it was actually relevant because I seen it through my peers, my family, and my friends. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, let's get into it. Uh, God's command against serving other gods. A lesson from Pharaoh. Let's get into it. In today's world, people are often tempted to worship things other than the one true God, whether it be money, power, or false gods of other religions and nations. The Bible makes it clear that God does not accept divided worship. He alone is to be served and glorified. I'm going to read that again. He alone is to be served and glorified. Throughout scripture, he warns against idolatry and rebellion, showing the consequences of turning away from him. One of the greatest examples of this is found in Pharaoh's defiance against God in the book of Exodus. God's command, no other gods before me. The Lord's command concerning worship is straightforward. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. This is the first of the Ten Commandments, showing the seriousness of serving only God. He does not allow his people to follow after other gods, for he is a jealous God who requires complete devotion. When Israel turned to idols, God judged them harshly, showing that worshiping other gods leads to destruction. Yeah, showing that other gods leads to destruction. Yeah. So, what I want to say about this? Yeah, I've been reading in the book, and this is actually coming, directly out the book. I kind of when I read something, I kind of want to just give my own little, cosign up on it because I'm using AI to type these blogs, and I don't want them to say anything that's not, but I don't think it works like that. I think AI is doing a good job as far as creating these blogs and getting the correct information that's out of what I'm asking for. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is I noticed that, throughout reading the book, that God is like really strict on you serving other gods and idols. So, and like this is why I'm creating this video, so you guys be aware that you cannot serve other gods. One thing that I noticed that are in people, it's like they have two gods inside of them. Some people, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? It's like on their face, on their surface, they have Jesus, but inside of them is something different. But yeah, man. This is the first of the Ten Commandments, showing the seriousness of serving only God. He does not allow his people to follow after other. Oh, I already read that. Yeah. He is a jealous God who requires complete devotion. When Israel turned to idols, God judged them harshly, showing that worshiping other gods leads to destruction. Pharaoh's example, a hardened heart against God. Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, is a prime example of what happens when someone refuses to acknowledge the one true God. When Moses came with God's command to let my people go, Pharaoh's heart was hardened and he refused to submit. And Pharaoh said, "Who is the Lord that I should obey his voice to let Israel go? I know not the Lord, neither will I let Israel go." Exodus chapter 5, verse 2. Pharaoh not only denied God, but also placed himself as a God among his people. He ruled with arrogance, believing that his own power was greater than God's. This led to God's judgment upon him and his nation through plagues, showing that rejecting God brings destruction. God's judgment on idolatry. The plagues God sent upon Egypt were not just punishments, they were direct judgments against Egypt's false gods. Each plague humiliated the idols that the Egyptians worshipped, proving that they had no real power. For example, the plague of blood in Exodus chapter 7, verse 17 showed God's power over the Nile, which the Egyptians worshipped. The plague of frogs, Exodus chapter 8, verse 2, mocked their goddess Heket, who was associated with fertility. The death of the firstborn, in Exodus chapter 12, verse 29, was the final blow, proving that Egypt's gods could not save them. I do remember reading, just want to give my little comments on this stuff. I do remember reading the plague of blood, right? The blood plague and the plague of frogs. I remember that too. And the death of the firstborn. Yeah, the death of the firstborn. It was once it's in the book to where he talks about like he was trying to kill the firstborns as well. Some of the women, they were actually trying to protect the firstborns due to them, trying to stay with God. You know what I mean? Trying to do God's will and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's wild. It's interesting to see that people were actually fighting, with them to do to do what God says. You get what I'm saying? So people was fighting with rulers and stuff just to do it, just to follow God. These judgments showed that serving other gods leads to destruction, just as Pharaoh and his people suffered for their idolatry. Serving God alone brings blessings. Unlike Pharaoh, who resisted God and faced judgment, those who serve the Lord alone receive his blessings and protection. God made it clear to Israel, "Ye shall not go after other gods, of the gods of the people which are round about you. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you." That's in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 14 and 15. It said God desires his people to worship him alone, not out of selfishness, but because he is the only true and living God. Serving him brings life, while serving other gods brings judgment. Final warning: do not follow Pharaoh's path. Pharaoh's downfall serves as a warning for all believers today. When we put anything before God, we're walking the same rebellious path that led to destruction. Instead, we must humble ourselves before the Lord, worship him alone, and obey his commands. Let us take heed to the words of Joshua when he said, "And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." And that's in Joshua chapter 24 through 15, chapter 24, verse 15. And it says, "Let us not be like Pharaoh, but instead submit to the Lord and worship him alone. In doing so, we walk in his blessings and avoid the judgment that comes upon those who serve other gods. May we always keep our hearts focused on God and never turn aside to false gods or idols. Amen. But yeah, man, I just wanted to come through with this video, you know, talking to you guys that I don't know what you guys are doing, right? Hopefully some of my friends can hear this and accept this and know that you cannot serve Pharaoh. You get what I'm saying? Go get baptized. That's the best you can do. Go get baptized, dipped in that water. God is merciful. God is very merciful. All you got to do is put the axe towards it. You get what I'm saying? Because I know some of my friends and stuff like that, you know, well, I'm making this video based off the inspiration because I seen some of my friends and my peoples, and I feel like that they're serving another God. Um, and I'm just trying to give you the inspiration, man, to go get baptized, man, to really seek God originally and just stop worrying about the ways of this world. Like, stop worrying about money and stuff. Like, just stop worrying about these things, because I know that these are these things that people are worried about. You know, people want money. People want, you know, just like it said in the book, power and all these things. Man, God will give you all of that. Just serve Him, man. Just do the right thing to serve God, the one true God, not other false gods and idols, right? But yeah, man, I just wanted to come through with this video, man. Um, yeah, I don't really have nothing else. I didn't create nothing, but it's positive energy. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box for my clothing brand and things like that. With this video, I just wanted to let you guys understand that we can only serve one God. Finish.